everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the sexual reproduction. What is the topic today? Sexual reproduction. In that we are going to discuss about the male reproductive system. Male reproductive system. So before going to the topic, what is the sexual reproduction? What is the sexual reproduction? So, as we know that sexual reproduction means fusion of male gamete and female gamete. What is the sexual reproduction here? Sexual means the fusion of male gamete and female gamete. So, it is called as fertilization. It is called as fertilization. In any case, if the fertilization happens, then it is called as sexual reproduction. So, how many types of fertilization we know there? Two types: external fertilization and internal fertilization. External fertilization and internal fertilization. External fertilization means the fusion of male gamete and female gamete takes place outside the female body. External fertilization means the fusion of male gamete and female gamete takes place outside the female body. Then it is called as external fertilization. So unless like that, if the fertilization means the fusion of male gamete and female gamete takes place inside the female body, then it is called as internal fertilization. Then it is called as internal fertilization. So we are all land animals. Cows, buffaloes, humans, we are all land animals. So the fertilization in our animals is internal fertilization, which means that the fusion of male gamete and female gamete takes place inside the female body. After the fusion, it develops into zygote, then it develops into the embryo. Yes or no? In the female body, the male gamete fuses with female gamete. So after that fusion, it forms a zygote. The zygote develops into an embryo. So like that, it is called as fertilization. It is called as fertilization. So here, female gamete means eggs or ovums. Here, female gamete means eggs or ovums. Male gamete means sperms. Male gamete means sperms. SPERMS. Sperms or sperm cells. So usually in the female body, the female gamete, which means that ovum, is in only one number. How many number of ovumes are there? Only one. But in the male body, the gametes, I mean the sperm cells, are in millions of numbers. In millions of numbers. In those millions of number of sperm cells, only one sperm cell can fuse with the female ovum. This is called as fertilization. It all takes place in the inside the female body. This is all takes place inside the female body. These are some basic points. So now we are going to discuss about the male reproductive system. So we all know that in the humans there is sexual diversity, which means that there is different types of organs present in males and females. In the males, the set of sexual organs are different. At the same time, in the females also, the set of sexual organs are different. And when coming to the case of male humans, so look at the diagram there. Those are the set of sexual organs which are present in the male reproductive system. So those are the set of organs which are present in the male reproductive system. So what are the organs there? First of all, a pair of testes. First of all, a pair of testes. And the second one is vasa efferentia. Second one is vasa efferentia. And the third one is a pair of epididymis. What is there? A pair of epididymis. And the fourth one is a pair of vasa differentia. A pair of vasa differentia. Fifth one is a pair of seminal vesicles. A pair of seminal vesicles. And the sixth one is ejaculatory duct. seventh one is prostate gland, eighth one is a pair of corpus gland, and ninth one is urethra. So these are the set of organs which are present in the male reproductive system. Each and every organ have, each and every part have some different functions, and they show some very important function in the formation and traveling of sperm cells. So the first of all, one of the most important organs in the male reproductive system, testes. We are going to discuss about them. So what are testes? How they are important? Okay. First of all, testes. The testes are located outside the abdominal cavity with a pouch called scrotum. Where the testes are located here? The testes are located outside the abdominal cavity. Those are located outside the abdominal cavity with a pouch called scrotum. So we know that in the human body, the testes are present outside the body, not inside the body. Outside the body, they are packed inside a bag-like structure. What is the bag is called here? Scrotum. What is the bag is called here? Scrotum. Okay. In the scrotum, testes are located outside the body. In each testis, highly coiled seminiferous tubules are present. In each and every testis, there are some tube-like structures. They are highly coiled. Coiled means um, coiled means they looks like a spherical structure. Looks like a spherical structure, highly coiled, highly spherical. Okay, that structures are called as seminiferous tubules. Those structures are called as seminiferous tubules. Okay, here the sperms are produced in these tubules by meiosis in very large number. So as I said earlier, what is the number of sperm cells here? Millions of number. Yes or no? The sperm cells produced in millions of number. Millions of number. The sperm cells are produced with the help of meiosis. Just look at the word meiosis. Meiosis means it's a kind of cell division. It's a kind of cell division. It has some different ability. We will discuss it later. There is also some topic about this one. Okay. So the sperm cells formed by the process of a cell division called meiosis in the seminiferous tubules. In the seminiferous tubules. At the same time, male sex hormones testosterone is also produced in the testes. So what is the hormone here? In the last lesson we discussed about some hormones and their effects. Yes or no? So in that lesson we got a name called testosterone. Testosterone. Okay. Testosterone means it's a male sexual hormone which creates secondary sexual characters, which gives secondary sexual characters to the human body, like mustache, like strong voice, like hair. So like this. So these are all the characters. These are all the secondary sexual characters caused by the testosterone hormone, and it is produced by the testes. It is produced by the testes. Okay. Next, the scrotum. What is the use of scrotum here? The testes are packed inside a structure called scrotum. But what is the use of scrotum here? The scrotum helps in maintaining low temperature. So testes are very delicate organs. In the human body, our body temperature is 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit. It means that nearly 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, 36 degrees centigrade. That's a very heavy amount of temperature to the testes. Okay, so the testes are very delicate and simple organs. They need a very low temperature region. So that's why only those are located outside the human body, and the testes need just 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade temperature lower than the human body. I mean, which means that they are ideal at 33 degrees centigrade or 34 degrees, around like that. But our human body temperature is 36 degrees. So that's why only those are located outside the human body in a bag called scrotum. And in that temperature, in that ideal temperature of 33 degrees or 34 degrees, the test is helpful in the production of sperm cells and formation of sperm cells. Okay, this is about testis. Next, we are going to discuss about the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia. Inside the testis, we know that there are some tubules called seminiferous tubules. Inside the testis, there are some tubules called seminiferous tubules. Those are all seminiferous tubules open into vasa efferentia with a single opening. Those all seminiferous tubules combine and open into a small tube-like structure called vasa efferentia. They carry sperms to the epididymis. They are just a carrier. Vasa efferentia means they are just a carrier. Vasa efferentia 1 from the right testis, vasa efferentia 2 from the left testis. Each testis contains one vasa efferentia. It's just a kind of tube-like structure which carries sperms from seminiferous tubules to the epididymis. Seminiferous tubules to the epididymis. So this is about the vasa efferentia. Next, epididymis. Epididymis. So each and every testis, I mean left and right, contains one structure called epididymis, which is highly coiled and located at the posterior of the testis. Located at the posterior of the testis. Posterior means downside. Okay, posterior means downside. So they are located at the posterior side of the testis. It's a highly coiled structure. It's a highly coiled structure. So what is the use of epididymis here? What is the use of epididymis here? It's a storage structure. It's a storage one. Storage one means it stores sperms for some minor time. It stores sperms for some temporary time. Okay, this is called epididymis. And the next structure is vasa deferentia. Vasa deferentia. So from each epididymis, a tube arises from it. A tube-like structure arises from it. That tube is called vasa deferens. Vasa deferens means singular form. Vasa deferentia means plural form. And from each epididymis, from left side and right side also, a tube-like structure arises from it. That tube-like structure is called vasa deferentia. Vasa deferens or vasa deferentia. And it is also a kind of carrier. It is also a kind of carrier. It is starts from the epididymis and ends at the abdominal cavity. Ends at the abdominal cavity at the ureter. It ends at the ureter. Just look at the diagram there. The vasa deferentia starts from the epididymis, which are located posterior to the testis, and they are ends at the ureter. They are ends at the ureter. It's just a carrier tube, which means that this carries sperms from epididymis to the ureter. This carries sperms from the epididymis to the ureter. Ureter means not to the ureter. There is a structure called seminal vesicles there. Inside the ureter, there are some ducts called seminal vesicles. So to that, it carries sperms from epididymis to the seminal vesicles. Epididymis to the seminal vesicles. So the next part is seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles. So they open into the vasa deferens. They produce seminal fluid. It is the source of energy for sperm cells when they are outside the human body. So what is the seminal vesicles here? They just opens into the vasa deferens and produce a fluid, a liquid called seminal fluid. A liquid called seminal fluid. We know that in the female body, the sperm cells need to travel a very large distance to fuse with the female ovum. Yes or no? We know that in the female body, the sperm cells need to travel a very large distance to fuse with the female gamete. So that's why they need some energy. They need some energy there. So this seminal fluid gives that kind of energy to the sperm cells for a very long time. For very long time. When the sperm cells are outside the human body, they need some energy to fuse with the female ovum. That energy can be given by the seminal fluid, which is produced by the seminal vesicles into the vasa deferens. Into the vasa deferens. And the next part is ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct. So a duct from the seminal vesicles joins the vasa deferens and continues as ejaculatory duct. Two ejaculatory ducts join at the center of the prostate gland and open into urethra. What is here? Ejaculatory duct means from the seminal vesicles. A duct means a tube-like structure forms with from the vasa deferens. Forms from the vasa deferens. Two ejaculatory ducts fuses with one each other and form a duct to in the middle of prostate gland. In the middle of prostate gland. Just look at the diagram there. In the middle of prostate gland, there is a tube called ejaculatory duct, and they open into the urethra. They open into the urethra. So a urethra means simple. They are just in the human body, in the human male body, the structure which is looking outside like a tube is called ejaculatory duct. Okay, and these are the organs in the male reproductive system. And besides of that, there are some glands called prostate gland and Cowper's gland. Prostate gland. So prostate gland means, we know that, just look at the diagram there, prostate gland. So what is the use of prostate gland here? The prostate secretions are released into the urethra through several ducts. These secretions activate sperm cells and supply nutrition. Okay, what is the use of prostate gland here? The secretion of prostate gland. The secretion of prostate gland, it activates the sperm cell. It activates the sperm cell and supply nutrition to it. And this is about the prostate gland. And the second one is Cowper's gland. Okay, Cowper's gland means it neutralizes the acidity in the urethra. What is urethra here? Urethra means it's a common organ for the excretion and reproduction. In the males, the urethra means it's a common organ. Okay, it's common organ for the reproduction and excretion. So in the case of excretion, we know that it also releases urine. So urine means it's highly acidic content. It's highly acidic one. So when sperm cells traveling through this duct, or through this urethra, the sperm cells can be damaged by the effect of acidity there. So before the sperm cells enters into the urethra, the secretions of Cowper's gland neutralize the acidity content in the urethra there. And finally, urethra means, we know that it's a male external organ which transports sperm cells. Okay, this is about the male reproductive system. And the male reproductive system. And the sperm cells, the group of sperm cells are called as spermatozoa. The group of sperm cells are called as spermatozoa. So the sperm cells passes through the, first of all, seminiferous tubules. Inside the testis, there are some tubules called seminiferous tubules. From there onwards, vasa deferentia. From there onwards, epididymis. From there onwards, vasa deferentia. And from there onwards, ejaculatory duct. And finally, it reaches urethra. This is the passage of spermatozoa. Here the spermatozoa means the group of sperm cells which are inside the seminal fluid. Next, what is the structure of sperm cell there? The structure of sperm cell. Just look at the diagram. That is the structure of sperm cell. First of all, the head of the sperm cell contains a pointed structure called acrosome. So what is the use of the acrosome there means? It helps in the sperm into the penetrating to the ovum. And inside the head, there is a structure called nucleus is present. Each and every cell needs a nucleus. Each and every cell has a brain called nucleus. As like that only, the sperm cell also contains a nucleus inside the head. Okay. Next, it fuses with the female nucleus. Head and middle piece are attached by neck. Mitochondria of middle piece produces energy for the movement of the sperm cell. So when after the fusion, the male nucleus, the sperm cell, the nucleus which is present in the the nucleus which is present in the sperm cell fuses with the nucleus present in the female ovum. At the same time, in the neck, there is a structure called mitochondria is present. We know that mitochondria means it's the powerhouse of the cell. It produces energy. Okay. Next, the tail propels the sperm cell. The tail propels the sperm cell, which means that the tail helpful in the swimming inside the female body. The tail helpful in the swimming inside the female body. The fluid secreted by seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and corpus gland collectively called seminal plasma. The seminal plasma, along with sperm, is called semen. So, okay, the sperm, as I said earlier, the prostate gland and corpus gland releases some kind of fluid, some kind of liquid content to activate the sperm cells and to give nutrition to the sperm cell. That fluid is called as seminal fluid. The seminal fluid and sperm cell collectively called as semen. Collectively called as semen. So in the semen, 60% of the sperm cells should have normal shape and size, and 40% of them have vigorous motility. 60% have normal shape, normal size. Okay, there is no difference. They are just look like some normal sperm cells, but the remaining 40% have vigorous motility. Vigorous motility means they move very faster when compared to the other 60%. They move very faster inside the female body. Okay, and men produce sperm from the age of about 13 to 14 years and can go on doing some most of their lives. All to their power to do so decreases as they grow older. Here the male body can produce sperm cells from the age of 13 to 14 years. Okay, the production of sperm cells can be decreased by the age. When they are getting older, the production of sperm cells also decreases. Okay, this is about the male reproduction system. So in the next class we will discuss about the female reproduction. Thank you one and all.